We're going to begin laying down today. So you can make your way all the way down on your mat. Just laying comfortably. You can have your knees bent if that's comfortable. You can have your legs sprawled out. Feel free to take up as much or as little space as you'd like here. Take this first minute or so just to kind of connect with our mats, start to ground ourselves down and slow down from our day. We'll try to forget about anything that's happened so far today, anything that's happened this week, and just focus on yourself these next 30 minutes and what's happening on your mat. We'll start to slow down the breath, really feeling the chest and belly rise with every inhale, and feeling the body compress down to the mat with every exhale. To lengthen each breath, going for 3 to 4 seconds. Really draw it out. And that includes the exhale, nice and long. Start to bring a little calm to the body, calm to the mind. Just feel yourself melt down to the mat. Do our best to release any tension from the face and shoulders. Try to let the hands and feet just settle down and find some stillness. And continue to breathe. One more deep breath. Good. All right, on your next inhale, we're going to reach overhead, stretching through the shoulders, through the fingertips. We'll spread the fingers out nice and wide. We'll keep the arms separate and feel free to, if you want to move around, you can reach left, reach right. Really looking for that opening and stretch in the chest and the shoulders. Let's take one more big inhale, really reach. And as we exhale, we'll circle the arms down nice and big and kind of drape them on the ground and bring them back to our sides. Good. From here, we're going to draw the knees into the chest, go one at a time, just really gentle, pulling them in nice and close. We'll keep the feet separated for now. Just working to let those legs be heavy. Let the arms do the work as we hug them in towards the chest. Good. Now we'll begin to add some gentle movements. So switching things up a little bit, we're going to start with the knees together in the center. We're going to slowly start to pull them out wide. So you should feel a stretch in the hips. We'll push them back to the center and pull them out wide. Might feel funny, might feel silly, but take this time to appreciate that stretch in the hips. You're just giving them a little gentle movement. And keep it nice and slow, matching movement to breath. You can inhale one direction and then exhale the other, however that works for you. Just get a few more here. Pulling them out as wide as comfortable. Last one. Good. From here, we're going to slowly release the left leg, so we'll just let it go long and find the mat slow, slow, slow. Good. Let that left leg relax. We'll turn the toes off to the left side, so we're really opening up through that hip. With our right leg, we're going to slowly add some different movements slightly. So we're going to try to pull out towards the edge of the mat, maybe a little bit wider than we just were. We're just going to hold here. Really feeling that stretch in the hip and the inner thigh. We'll try to anchor the elbow down towards the ground. or as low as comfortable. You don't have to pull all the way down. Big thing with restorative yoga, we're not forcing ourselves into any poses. So being able to recognize that stopping point for your body is very important. We'll take one more big inhale. Big exhale. Good. We'll slowly bring that leg back to the center. And next movement, we're going to begin to straighten out that right leg as much as comfortable. Grab behind the knee and just give a nice pull in towards the chest. So as you can see, my leg is nowhere near straight. Our goal is to find that stretch for the hamstrings and not straining, but if you can try to straighten the leg out a little more. You can always make adjustments to how much you're pulling it into. So just finding that balance where we find that comfortable place of discomfort. Once we're there, focusing on breathing into the hamstrings, be wiggling the toes a little bit, roll up the ankle, and try to unclench the jaw here. This is a deep stretch right away. Good. We'll take 2 more deep breaths, aiming for that 3 to 4 second range. Good. After your second deep breath, we'll slowly begin to unwind. So you can start to crunch that leg down and release it to the mat. We'll keep a bend in the right leg and we'll bring that left leg up to meet it. So both knees bent, and we'll windshield wiper the legs, just bringing them out side to side, letting the knees drop down as low as comfortable, just really gentle and slow. Give a refresher for the hips, for the low back. Good. Begin to find stillness in the center. As we inhale, we're going to pull both knees back into the chest and keeping our feet separate. Our next movement here, we're going to draw some circles with the knees. We're going to slowly try to pull the knees as close as you can, out wide, and then we'll bring them down and up and together. So just drawing 2 circles that should be similar in size. A little bit of a mind bender for this one. Again, just giving the hips a little gentle movements. Especially important after sitting or standing for long periods. We're just not moving and holding a similar position. It's good to mobilize. Good. We'll go ahead and switch directions. Another mind bender. So we'll bring them down, out, and up. And keep it nice and slow. Picture we're just drawing a figure 8 with the knees. And the hands should be doing most of the work here. The legs are still fairly heavy. Let's get one more at your own pace. Awesome. We'll slowly release that right leg, stretching out, and let it fall down to the mat slowly. Once you're down at the bottom, let that leg be heavy and turn the right toes to the right side, so opening up through that hip. With our left side, we're going to begin to pull the knee out towards the edge of the mat, as far as comfortable. We're going to hold here again for that deep hip stretch. Nice stretch in the inner thigh as well. If you can ground down that elbow as an anchor, or you can let it hover too. It might be different than that first side, which is a-okay. Really focusing on breathing, working to soften the shoulders, soften the face. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Focus on slowing down. Good. After your second deep breath, we're going to slowly begin to pull that knee back into the center. And we'll begin to straighten that leg out, just like we did on the right side. We'll pull in gently to find that hamstring stretch, which again, you can see my leg is nowhere near straight. So you can make adjustments with how straight your leg is, how much you're pulling in to find that sweet spot, that balance, where you get that good hamstring stretch. Again, it might be different than that first side. It's a good time to just recognize those differences, keep them in mind, especially as we are stretching. Any kind of exercise really affects how our body moves, which is why it's good to do things like this, get a little recovery, a little mobility. We'll take 2 more deep breaths, really breathing into the hamstrings. Good. After that second deep breath, you can slowly unwind the leg, crunch it up, and let it fall down to the mat. From here, we'll bend that right knee, pick the feet up just so we can grab behind the knees, and we'll take some roll-ups. Take as many or as few of these as you'd like. Kind of a fun move to massage the spine. And it's just a good time. When you're ready, you can make your way to a butterfly pose. So feet are going to be together in the center, pressing down lightly on the knees with elbows. Another great hip stretch here. So stretches the inner thigh. You can just slightly hinge yourself forward. If you do want a bonus neck stretch, you can start to bring chin to chest gently, just dropping the chin down, dropping the gaze down. You should feel a stretch along the back of the neck. Wherever you're at, we'll hold for 3 deep breaths. Be trying to press down a little bit further on the knees if it's comfortable. Good. Whenever you're done with your 3rd breath, we'll slowly lift ourselves up, extending the right leg out straight. We'll bring that left foot into touch or as close as comfortable. From here, you can place the right hand just on the leg, maybe on the knee, on the thigh. We're going to inhale to reach the left arm up overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to twist and reach towards our right hand. So getting a little twist. So additional hamstring stretch. And we'll also feel a stretch in the IT band along the side of that leg. We'll do our best to kind of keep the shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. And as it's comfortable, you can slowly hinge forward to deepen that stretch. Good. We'll take 2 more deep breaths, not here for long. Awesome work. Whenever you've completed your 2 breaths, we'll gently roll up the leg, release. We'll bring the right leg in and make our way to a comfortable seated position, a little refresher in between. So moving to a little upper body work. I'm going to bring the arms to about 45 degrees. We're going to slowly start to pull behind us and then move forward to touch the arms together. We'll pull back, stretching the chest, the shoulders, upper back. We'll bring them into the center to touch. Get 1 more, pulling back. And bring it to the center. Good. And from here, we're going to bring the hands behind the head and go for a similar motion in the front. So our goal is to bring those elbows as close together as we can, then pull them out wide. Close together as we can. Out nice and wide. Bring as close to touching as possible. Let's get one more, all the way back, all the way forward. Good. And slowly release. Maybe bring the arms out wide, twinkle the fingers, and kind of shimmy and shake on your way down. Switching to that left side for our hamstring IT band stretch. We'll extend out the leg, bring the right foot into touch, or as close as comfortable. We'll place the left hand on the outside of the knee or on the thigh. We'll inhale to reach the right arm up overhead. And exhale to twist, reaching towards the left hand, kind of on the outside of that leg. You can take your time working into this stretch. Do our best to sit upright, keep the shoulders back. You can hinge forward at the hip as it's comfortable to deepen that stretch. It doesn't take much with this one, especially since we're getting into those IT bands, into the hamstrings. Really focus on your breath here. Good. Let's get 2 more deep breaths and draw them out. Make the most of our time. Good. Whenever you've completed your 2 breaths, we'll roll our way up the leg. And again, make our way to a comfortable seat. Right. We're going to assume that position we ended off in. So hands are going to be behind the head with elbows out nice and wide as we sit up tall. We're just going to start to draw little circles with the elbows. So not a ton of range of motion here, just tiny circles. Good. Now I'll switch directions, sending them backwards. Let's get one more. Awesome. We'll bring left hand down to the knee, reaching the right arm up. We'll start to bend our way over. Now, if you feel like you need a little extra support, instead of a hand on the knee, you can place it by your side. With this stretch, we should feel really nice stretch from the shoulder all the way down the side body. Breathe nice and deep. Maybe roll out the wrists, stretch the fingers. Take one more deep breath, really reach. Good. We'll bring the right arm up over. You can set the hand down on your knee. We'll inhale to reach that left arm up overhead. Then we'll slowly begin to pull to the side. And if you feel like you need extra support, you can set that right hand down on your mat instead of your lap. Appreciating that big side body stretch. Lengthen that breath. Letting the shoulders drop down with the exhale. Good. Let's take one more big breath here, really reach. Good. We'll bring the left hand back down, flat. From here, we're going to roll our way forward onto hands and knees. With knees directly below the hips, and then hands directly below the shoulders with fingers spread nice and wide. Once you're situated, we're going to begin cat and cow. So inhaling to drop the belly down, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Then a big exhale to round out the spine and pull the shoulder blades apart, creating an arch in the back. Inhale to drop the belly down, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. And exhale to round out the spine, Really press through the palms here. Another big inhale, drop the belly down, lift the gaze. And a big exhale to round out the spine. Good, let's get one more of each. Big inhale, drop the belly down. Then a big exhale to round out the spine. Good, we'll make our way to a neutral tabletop position. Start to bring the knees out towards the edge of your mat, nice and wide, and big toes are touching. We'll sit back towards the heels, moving into extended child's pose. We'll walk the hands forward. Relax the forehead down to the mat. We'll just take a little grounding moment here. Feeling the upper back rise with every inhale. Just really fill up with air. And a big exhale as we compress down to the mat. Continue to breathe deeply. Doing our best, just let the body be heavy here and really sink down to our mats. Good, we'll take one more big inhale. Big exhale. And on your next inhale, we're going to slowly rise and bring ourselves forward, back to hands and knees, just like we were before. All right, from here, we're going to slowly step our right foot up, moving into a runner's lunge. So we'll toe heel that foot towards the edge of your mat as far as comfortable. We'll stay lifted on the hands to start. This is a big, deep stretch for the hips and hamstrings, so you're more than welcome to stay here. If it's comfortable, you can begin to walk your way down to the forearms for an even deeper stretch. Wherever you're at, we'll do our best to soften the face, slow that breath down. Let's go for 3 deep breaths. Amazing job. From here, we're going to slowly start to walk our hands back and straighten out that front leg as much as comfortable. If you're feeling ready, you can move the hands up to the leg. Straighten it out even more for another big hamstring stretch here. We'll take 2 deep breaths and half splits. Good. Moving from half splits, we'll shift ourselves forward. Kind of just wrap that right leg behind, however it's comfortable. And then we'll begin to switch sides, so stepping that left foot up. We'll toe heel our foot up to the corner, as far forward as comfortable. And we'll start up on the hands, settling in. That deep hip hamstring stretch. And if it's comfortable, you can walk your way down closer to the ground to really deepen that stretch. Where you can stay lifted wherever you're at, doing our best to let the body be heavy and just relax into this pose. Really feel those muscles lengthening. Breathing nice and deep. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Good. After your third deep breath, begin to walk the hands back, straighten out that left leg, and then shift our hands onto the leg, straightening it out as much as comfortable for that lovely hamstring stretch. Half splits, hold for 2 deep breaths. And after your second deep breath, starting to shift forward with control, and then we'll wrap that left leg back. However, it's comfortable. We'll take some time to just shift side to side, maybe draw some circles, really taking whatever movement feels good in the hips right now. Switch up directions too if you decide to circle. Good. All right. From here, we'll bring the knees out wide once again, moving back into a child's pose. As we start to sink the hips down towards the heels, we'll walk the left arm forward. We're going to wrap that right arm underneath, weaving through to drop the right ear towards the mat into thread the needle variation. Should feel a nice stretch through the shoulders, upper back, to the chest. Good. We'll take 2 more deep breaths. After your second deep breath, begin to press up through that left palm, unwind the right side. We'll plant that right palm down on the mat and then weave that left arm underneath to drop left ear to the mat. Begin to thread the needle on the other side. You can take time to make adjustments to feel that nice stretch through the shoulders, upper back, a little bit in the chest. Just breathe nice and easy. And we'll take 2 more deep breaths as we hold. Be walking the right hand forward just a little bit. And after that second deep breath, gently pressing up through the right palm to unwind that left hand. We'll walk the hands up towards us and shift onto a hip, a comfortable seat. We'll roll our way all the way down to the mat, just like we started in that comfortable position. Have the knees bent if you'd like. You can have the legs spread out nice and wide. It's really up to you. Whatever feels comfortable today. We'll take this last minute or so just to begin to notice how the body's feeling. We'll think back to the beginning of class. Bringing awareness to any of the differences in how we're feeling, keeping that in mind as we move through our day, and adding in littlest movements can be beneficial just to keep the body loose, keep everything mobile, avoid any stiffness, any tightness the best we can. Good. And on our next inhale, we're going to reach our arms up overhead for one more big stretch. And then as we exhale, we'll bring the palms together and down to the forehead, third eye center. Please know that you are more than welcome to continue on your own, adding on to this practice with whatever the body needs today. Otherwise, I appreciate you all taking time out of your day to slow things down with this restorative practice. We'll seal our time together with Namaste.